Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate a quilt block called the attic window. So let's take a look at it. Okay, this is a small wall hanging that I made, and when you look at it, you feel like you're looking outside into a garden. And what helps to give it that 3D effect is this light fabric here and the darker fabric here at the bottom of the block. And to finish off that window effect, there's narrow sashing throughout the entire quilt itself. Then I just finished it off with a really simple border so that you really focus on the window effect. This is a really simple block, so let me show you how to create this. Now, you can either have a rectangle like I have or a square. The process is the same no matter which shape you select. Now my block, this piece of fabric here is 5.5 inches this way and 7.5 inches this way. Now you can cut it any size you like. So to cut out your light fabric, this is the side you put the light on. Measure this distance of your square or rectangle, and in my case 7.5 inches, and you're going to cut it 2.5 inches wide. So place it face down on this side of the block, and you're going to pin and stitch 1/4 inch along here. Then with your iron, press, and do this at your ironing board. Then unfold and press on the front side. And you want to make sure you push this seam here towards your 2.5 inch wide strip. Now the next thing you need to do is measure from here all the way over to here, and mine is 7.5 inches. So you're going to cut a strip, whatever that length is, and you're also going to cut it 2.5 inches wide. So here's my strip, my dark strip. Now if I put it on just like this, stitch it on, it doesn't give that 3D effect. So you need one more piece of fabric, and it's going to go down in this corner. You need to cut this piece 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Then on the back side, you're going to draw a line from corner to corner. So just place the edge of your ruler on there, and either with a pencil or fabric marker, go ahead and draw your line. Then you're going to place it down in this corner, and make sure that the diagonal line up these edges first, is going from up here near this seam down to the far right hand lower corner. Okay, down that way. Then at your sewing machine, you're going to stitch on this side of the line, but you're going to stitch real close. So let me show you a sample of what that would look like. So here it is. So look at where my stitches are. They're on this side. I'm not stitching on the pencil line, but you're stitching very close. Once you stitch that on, then you need to trim some of this off, and you're going to trim this side off. Place your 1/4 inch mark on your ruler right here. Place it on this seam where you just stitched, and then with a rotary cutter, go ahead and trim that side off. Then press this seam at your ironing board, unfold, and press again, and you're pushing this seam towards this corner of that rectangle. Press it real good. Then when you're done, let me go to my next sample. You want to bring it face down on top of the block, okay? And then of course pin and stitch right along here. Then press it with your iron, unfold, and press again. And now you can see the beginning of that 3D look. So go ahead and do all of your blocks like this. You want to do all of them first before you start putting sashing on. Once you've got all of your blocks done, then go ahead and lay them out in the order you would like them to be. So if you were making this little small wall hanging like I have up here, which I'm just using 4, but you can use as many as you want. So lay them out row by row, arrange them how you want them to appear. Then you're going to cut your sashing. Now, so first measure from this corner all the way down to this corner. Mine happens to be 9.5 inches. So you're going to cut your sashing strips this length, but 1.5 inches wide. So once you've got your strips cut out, you always place a sashing strip in between all of your blocks first. So you're just laying this out. Then place one at the beginning of the row, and then always finish off every row with a sashing strip. So now you're going to put these strips on row by row. So bring them face down on top, line up your edges, and then of course go ahead and pin and stitch 1/4 inch along this edge. Then press this seam on the back side, unfold, and then press it on the front side. Now I always like to press my seams towards my sashing. Then go over to the next sashing strip. Bring it front side down, and then go ahead, pin and stitch 1/4 inch. Again, press this, unfold, and press again. Then go to the next block and attach it on top of this one. So line it up, pin and stitch 1/4 inch, press, unfold, and press again. And then remember, at the end of each row, you want to finish it off with a sashing strip. So go ahead and do your 1/4 inch seam and do your pressing. Then after you've done all of your rows, you're now going to measure the distance, the width. Now here's a finished row right here. So you want to measure from this beginning of the row right here at the edge, and then go all the way over to the end of the row. Measure that distance. Then you're going to cut your sashing that distance, and you're going to cut it again 1.5 inches wide. So cut out all your sashing strips. And again, always place the sashing in between each row, and then always place one at the very top of your quilt or wall hanging, and then go all the way down to the bottom and finish off your quilt with one more piece of sashing. Now you're going to attach it just like you did the smaller sashing strips. So start up here at the top, go ahead, line that sashing up, pin and stitch 1/4 inch, press, unfold, and press. And then go to the next piece of sashing, do the same thing, stitch it on with 1/4 inch, and press. And don't forget to finish off the very, very bottom of your quilt or wall hanging with a piece of sashing. So let's take a look at the wall hanging just one more time, and you can see how you really do feel like you're looking through a window, and in this particular one, through a garden. Okay, now, if you want to keep informed on all the future videos that the Sewing Room channel has, you need to click on subscribe. So click on one of my subscribe buttons. There's one down there in the lower right-hand corner. It's red. It says subscribe. But up in the upper left-hand corner is a round picture of my face floating around. That's also a subscribe button. We don't want you to miss out. We want you to have lots of opportunities to subscribe. Once you subscribe, enter your email address, and then the next time I have a new video, YouTube will send you a brief email with a big button in the center. You click on it and it takes you directly to my latest video. Now, I'm Cheryl, and I am so glad you came to my sewing room. I'm going to see you next time, and of course, don't forget, happy sewing.